Go live. Well, I see Kevin's here. Hello, Kevin. Kevin, good news. You got another 30-round magazine in TAC Pack. Another Hex Mag. Don't worry, I snagged you a 10 to replace it. So we got that worked out. Let me set my phone to quiet mode so it does not go beepity beep beep beep. Going beepity beep 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 is a serious problem. Okay. Oh, okay. Your Elden Ring. Leonard, I don't know what Elden Ring is. You like this? This is my backyard, actually. This is an actual shot from what's up, Aiden?
Elden Ring is a game.
It's a game?
Yeah.
Thanks. Aiden just filled me in. So this is actually out back. Well, this is like the woods behind the backyard. But so this theoretically could really we could do this someday. We could go on out there and stream, but I figured it was a nice little background. So this is where I'd like to be right now. But happy 420. Thanks. Need to get some edibles because I can't smoke anything. How's everybody doing? We got 1 minute until we start going. And then we start going. And then I tell you things and stuff. Would you like to know first? Things or stuff? We can do either. We can do both. We do all sorts of stuff. But I hope everybody's doing good and has had a nice few weeks. And then, hey, Tab B. Oh, it's almost 6:45. Yay. Had a fun day in the shop today. Utterly failing to dip a skull in the customer's chosen pattern. It came out looking pretty cool, but it wasn't what we wanted, what they wanted. But what happened, Leonard? I need more information on that. Why'd they get their social media nuked? I don't know what's going on. But it's 6:45, so we're gonna start. So we got things. Peter, thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Everything's going well. I'm not feeling well, but you know what? I shouldn't have even told you that because you wouldn't have known because I'm going to fake it. Tanker of poison material. Birth brother. Okay. I'm not sure what birth brother exactly means, but I'm sorry to hear that. So. Oh, okay, Leonard, we're going to have to check that out. So, anyway, guys, here we go. So, let's start by giving you the update. I wanted to announce the winner of the Boba Fett knife giveaway earlier. But you know, I kind of took a little break. So your son is adopted. Okay, I get it. All right. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Carrie. That sucks, man. So here's what's going to happen with the Boba Fett Wesson. So tomorrow I'm going to post the video with the winner. Okay. And for my Patreon guys, I'm also going to post the video with the winner of the Patreon only giveaway. But since it's taken me so long, oh, there we go. Now it's getting transparent. Since it's taken me so long to get this video going, I'm also going to throw in not only a winner for this, but there might be one or two other little goodies. I might be picking some winners' names for some other old school custom stuff that I've done to to get it to go. Thanks, Chris. I figured out how to mess with the settings a little bit. The Mad Swim Baiter. That's an interesting name. How are you? So tomorrow, we're gonna give away. We're gonna get the actual winner's name, and there's like well over 250 entries for this. But we're also gonna choose names for some other items that we're gonna give away that are gonna be surprises. That if you're familiar, like longtime viewers of this channel, will have seen before, but those who are relatively new, you might not have seen them before. But so we're gonna make up for the delay by giving away more stuff, yeah, and it should be fun. It should be fun for everyone, I think. So that is what's going on. Let's see what else. Videos that are coming up real soon. We're gonna talk about ghost guns in a little bit, by the way. Videos that are coming up real soon. I just got Barrel and Blade today. I recorded Tac Pack yesterday. How do you choose your winners? Is it just? Yep, it's still Tab. It's still. Let me answer this. So I put everybody on an Excel spreadsheet, and that gives numbers like right down the list. Okay. And then I just use a random number generator. And so, of all the numbers. And then it will come up with a number. And then I just pull the name that is right next to that number. That's how I do it. And it's fair for everybody. Leonard, he is. And I have even, here's the thing about PMP. Rather than well, by the way, so I'm gonna make this update later, but so PMP has issued a full refund to Jason for March and April, so that has happened finally. But I'm gonna put that out like on the main channel, because I'm not gonna not give him credit for it. But it shouldn't have taken this long. And the thing is, the dude just, rather than just engaging in a calm, rational discussion, which is all he had to do, he just gets defensive and lies and makes stuff up. And like I don't know how many times I've sent him the personal, like through DMs. I've said, dude, just come on the live stream. If we've all got it wrong, if you're doing everything right, make me have to, how many times have I put up videos where I've had to say, guys, I was wrong, or I made a mistake, or these guys were right, and have to like look like a schmuck. Come on the live stream, bring your receipts with you, and prove me wrong. Have a discussion about it. But he refuses to do that, and the only possible reason I can come up with that he refuses to do that is because he can't do that. Because he cannot show up with the receipts, and he cannot engage me in a productive discussion. And he plays the victim. He does this. People are just, nobody wakes up one morning and says, "Oh, I'm gonna try to fuck with this guy's business." Nobody does that. Nobody just decides they're gonna gang up on one dude because they don't like him. It just, what's going on? This about PMP. David Jones, watch my last video about PMP, and you'll see. But he just, he chooses to do things like he does these half truths where like he'll respond to the comments on my last thing like, don't believe him. Doc doesn't purchase anything from me. I'm like, well, that's true, but damn well that it's my Patreon member, because I said it in the video flat out. It's my Patreon member who purchased the box. It's supposed to be shipped to me. And he just, I don't know. But So that's that. That's that. But you know what? Listen, I'm not trying to ruin a guy's business. I'm trying to make a guy. I'm trying to just make sure people don't get ripped off. That's all. That's all it is. So yeah. So I've got some very different products I'm going to be looking at though from some different companies coming up in the very near future. Axial has their first folder that they've just come out with, and they're going to send me one to review. You know, they have great OTFs, and they're going to send me. They're sending me. I forgot what it's called, but it's a smaller folder, but you know, full titanium, good steel. So they're sending me one of those to look at. I'm getting some more materials from that Beans EDC, who I got the donut handle material from. And he donates a lot of money to charity. So I bought a bunch of his stickers and everything because he's got some cool stickers. So I figure we'll do some giveaways with the stickers too. Some will go to the Patreon guys, but I'm also going to give some of his cool stickers away. I think he's just got cool stickers, and so I know a lot of folks out there like stickers and collectibles too. So, from that box swap trade, I don't know what I have to look up what a Ratliff custom is. Oh, it's a fixed blade, so I probably wouldn't know that much. I'm not that into fixed blades. My kitty is doing great. He's super handsome. Thanks for asking, Peter. He is very handsome, and he likes to sit in my lap more and more as he gets a little older. So I'm wearing Tato now. We got our we finally went and like had it in us to pick up Tato's ashes, and we all have our little Tato ash capsule necklaces now. So Tato is with us wherever we go, whatever we do. And in fact, just this past weekend, I went to New York to visit my mom and my 97-year-old grandmother, and my cousins from California flew in. And I felt like a rebel because we went to a little park that said no dogs allowed. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking a dog into the park. And there's nothing you can do about it. And so, yeah. But anyway, there's so Craig, not Craig D, but Craig R. He sent me and the boys an awesome package around Christmas time. And the only reason you guys haven't seen the video yet is because it's literally the very last video that Tato was in. And it's been hard for me to get it all edited and up. But I have been working on that. And so you'll see that real soon too. He sent some really cool stuff. And there, 1, 3, 4, the guys mostly. Oh, okay. There's some happy Tato right in it, like right in there, like right up in the beginning. I mean, but so it is actually the very last Tato in the history of the world. So we'll get that up a few months late, but you know we'll get that. We'll get that up for everybody to see, and you'll see the cool stuff that Craig sent for me and the boys to enjoy around Christmas time. And we would have already seen it had it not been for unfortunate events. So as the weather gets a little warmer, well, oh, Peter, it's pretty good. We're going to see it soon. As the weather gets warmer, and I say as the weather gets warmer, but I don't know about the weather where you guys all are. The weather here can't decide what it wants to do. It gets warm, and then it goes down to 30 again, and then it just rains. But I have some stuff outdoor that I want to get done, and I want to show. Well, it would be outdoor exactly what you're seeing here. It will be right in that. You'll see exactly that because it'll be right in the woods behind the house. That we'll be doing, and I got some stuff I want to do, really cool stuff. For those of you that are really into the prepping kind of stuff, I was approached by a company that, how do you make sure someone is a subscriber for giveaways? So there's you can tell when someone subscribes to your channel. There's a tab you can go to, Kurt, and you can actually check if someone is a subscriber. I could get a list of everybody that actually subscribes to my channel, and it's a pain in the ass. But that's what I do. Thanks for the tip on the etching acid. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, a lot of people spend. I mean, the ferric chloride works, and in a way, sometimes when you want a little finer control, it works a little better because it's a little slower. So, but I mean, you're paying like so much more because you get that little 16-ounce bottle of ferric chloride for what, $10, but you get like the giant jug of muriatic acid for $10. I mean, it's, yeah. So, hey, Stuart. Wow, we got our Australia brother here watching. Well, Robert, welcome. I'm glad you're catching us live. And Chris, I'm gonna grind into the Alara tonight myself and see what happens. So we'll compare notes. Hey, cuz so fid you here. Hey, cuz so fid you here. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what that says. Hey, cuz so fid you here. I don't know what that says. I just don't know what that says. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what that says. Somebody tell me what this says. I don't know. Hello, Dominic. How are you? So anyway, back to what I was saying. So for those of you you've been watching for years, Robert. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. For those of you guys who are really into the prepping stuff, there's a company who kind of, I get, and I've told you this before, I get a lot of emails like, hey, we love your channel and it's the perfect place for, we watch your videos and we think that you would want to advertise. Justin, that is awesome. Justin, I would love to do something and see your stuff, and we can do things together. Stuart, I did. You know what? Let me. I'm going to talk about that in a Patreon video. But I get all these things, and they're like, we've checked out your videos, and we love your channel, and we think that it would be great for us to work together. And then it's like a Chinese clothing company, and I'm like, you've never watched a single one of my videos, you lying sacks of shit. But anyway, so one company that contacted me recently is a company that provides prepping medical supplies, and they have an antibiotic set. Now, this is actual through their company. You know what? Just trust me. It's like not when you buy fish tank antibiotics through like the Bud K catalog. It's like actual medical human grade antibiotics. And I was very on the fence as to whether or not I wanted to do this. You guys know how I feel. Like, I love to talk about medical stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to get caught in that trying to promote medical thing. Anyway, I ended up deciding that we're going to work with it and show it to you guys, because in the right circumstance, it could be an absolute life-saving addition to your go bags, to your bug out bags, to your prep kits, to whatever. And so I thought it was kind of cool. And because of my particular medical history and that I do take some medications every day, it just was a great example of how they personalize the different stuff that they send in your particular kit, to demonstrate that they don't just cookie cutter send you a bag full of stuff. They actually take your personal situation into account when they put together the set for you. So anyway, I have to refilm. I have to reshoot the whole thing though, because my camera refused to focus. I was just trying to edit it. But it's something that I think a lot of you guys might be interested in. The real prepping type folks, not everybody, honestly, because not everybody is into stuff like that. But I think that the folks that are really into prepping, not just the outdoors, the camping, the stuff like that, those kind of people, but the real preppers might really be into this. So that's where we are with that. What else do we have going on? And we have a penis. Anybody have a response to penis? You ever play? Okay, so this is totally immature, but then again, so is most of the military. What's up, in? So me and my buddy Chris is like one of my best friends in the world. Sharp and sweet. I will take that into consideration. Yes, I will. Thank you. All right. So me and my buddy Chris, and we've known each other for almost 20 years now. Damn, it's a long time. It's a long ass time. We are the disruptive grown children in every briefing room that we've ever been in together. And we would have the penis game. And the goal would be you start with a whisper and you see who's got the guts to outdo the other one and say penis the loudest in an official, military briefing setting. You also try not to get in trouble as you just say penis louder than the other guy. And yeah, we've just gotten in trouble a lot, but it got to a point where sooner or later people were just like, ignore the penises in the back of the room, because we were ridiculous. And, yeah, that's why. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I got, let's see. Now, I didn't get the actual notification that it shipped out, but I know that I have a package on the way from Woodstock, Georgia. And I'm pretty sure that's what going gear is, Aaron. Justin, I've worked with C-Tech and Kirinite a lot. I don't know if there's something specific you wanted me, like if you were just telling me I should check it out. But I've done a lot of projects with C-Tech and Kirinite. I like them. The problem with Kirinite, let me tell you about the problem with Kirinite and most acrylics. They have such a low melting point. That's funny. The problem with Kirinite and acrylic handle materials is that they heat up at such a low temperature that it's so easy to accidentally start melting them. They melt so quick. And I have accidentally melted so many pieces of Kirinite. Now, C-Tech still, it still has, it's not really acrylic, it's resin, which usually has a higher temperature threshold than the acrylic does, but it is still possible to overheat it and melt it. Now, what's really cool is that because the C-Tech has the aluminum honeycomb in it, that aluminum starts to absorb and disperse that heat a little bit better than just the resin itself. So the C-Tech is a little bit more forgiving when you're grinding, whether it's with a Dremel or with a sanding belt or whatever. But they also tend to be softer than something like G10 or carbon fiber too. So if you're used to grinding like a carbon fiber or a G10 or even a wood material, if you use the same pressure, do I have a piece of material? I don't. But like if you're used to putting pressure against the grind material with one of those harder materials, and you're doing it like a resin or an acrylic, you could like grind right through. So for folks that are like you're getting into customizing or you just want to try it out, That's a hard lesson learned, that those softer materials, you got to remember how soft they are, and you will go right through it. And I have destroyed many a piece of like mother of pearl and acrylic. And is Cornholio about to make an appearance on this? Hello, Cornholio.
That you lift me up.
You want me to lift you up?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of my boy. Hello. I'm glad that you are as entertained by you as I am. Thanks.
I'm coming to get you in the night. I'm gonna take off your heads in the night.
What do you say? Fine. Aiden's apologizing for his brother's behavior. Yes, Carrie, he does need TP for his bunghole. It's good to know that the things that entertained me in my younger years, they still find on the internet. Yes. So anyway, I love C-Tech though, because C-Tech does, when you polish up C-Tech, it looks beautiful. And like the darker red, like the black, just looks totally different than, say, the lighter ones that let more light through. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start a lecture, about handle materials, but the stuff that I'm about to get from Beans EDC is it's all glow in the dark kind of stuff, but different textures on it. So like in daylight, it looks textury, but then in the dark it glows. So I'm getting 2 more slabs of the donut, so that we have more of that to work with. I really got to find something to donut up. And then I forgot what he calls it. It looks like lunar. That's what it is. It looks like lunar surface, like moon, like with craters and stuff. And then so I'm getting a set of blue and a set of green glowing stuff, and it looks so cool. Now all of those are resin, like moon glow is a resin kind of stuff. So hard to work with, only because it's so easy to work with, if you know what I mean. It just one mistake and you zip right through the piece. But as a community, we will come together and pick some good custom, probably 1 fixed blade and 1 folder for the lunar stuff. And then I'm so pleased with the way that this blade has come out, and we're not exactly focusing on it. I know not everybody likes when I do this grind. I know Stuart doesn't, and I respect Stuart's opinion, because not everybody has to like everything that we do. In fact, sometimes, if everybody just tells me everything that I do is great, I will never try anything new. So it's only through those people that tell me, you know what, I like your work, but I don't like the look of that. That's the only way that I'll try anything new. So I totally respect the people that don't like the stuff that I do. But yeah, Kurt, that rice husk stuff, donut a rat. That's an expensive handle material. That donut stuff is $20 a piece, $21 a slab. So that's something. But that would be an expensive rat one. See, if I was gonna do that to the rat, I would have to do the whole thing, blade, backspacer. Like I'd have to make the rat one worth that expensive handle material, which we could do. But we definitely could do it. So Kaylee's here. I haven't seen Kaylee on a live stream in forever. Hi. Hello. You're back from the dead? Donut, a hinderer, or a strider? Actually, that would be not bad. We could do that. I need to meet you first, though. If you're ever in Dallas, I'll take you fishing. Cool. Well, no, Kaylee, you can stay if you want. We can use the donut stuff on Kaylee's gun sword. Now, I like that Stuart is like my I'm trying to think of what it is. Stuart's like my keeping me in check guy. He's the dude that's always like, nah, you're not that good. Don't let it go to your head. Like, you know, keep working. Keep working. Don't ever get happy and settled. Stuart's the dude that keeps me working hard. What am I missing? I'm missing a whole half of a conversation here, and I don't know if I want to be in on this. So have you? You have to watch the video about the new glow in the dark donut material I have for handles to understand that. Emerald City Comic Con. There's going to be some exclusive Star Wars stuff there. That sounds cool. At the end of the summer, I'm taking the boys to Disney, and we're going to go to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge thing. And man, like Disney doesn't have enough money. That company must make billions a year off of that. Holy crap. That's ridiculous how much they make. And how much it costs to go to that thing. But yeah. But it's so cool. It's so cool. If you look up all the stuff that's there, like if you're a Star Wars geek, you have to go there once in your life. You have to. A Boba Fett Hinderer. Oh, if I had, I need to get. I haven't gotten a Hinderer in a long time. And maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'm thinking about it now. Like if I could get one of the I haven't gotten my hands on one of the Recurve XM18s. But So Leonard, where are you in relation to UCF? Because when I lived in Orlando, I lived in a little place called Waterford Lakes, which was like right next to UCF. And I wish there was a way to do a lightsaber-looking knife. There probably is a way to do a lightsaber-looking knife with Cerakote. Oh yeah, Leonard. So we probably work. I mean, I lived pretty close. So. Oh yeah, I want to go. I mean, I'm not looking forward to spending money at Disney, but for the boys to get to go, that's the important part. Oh, that's so funny, Leonard. So you know what? We probably have been all in the same places at some point. Yeah, from between 2002 and 2003, I was doing training at Patrick Air Force Base, and it's not a quick drive, but it's not too far from Orlando. And anyway, so it was good times. It was good times. And let me tell you, when you are a young single guy Orlando is a hell of a place to be. It's I mean, UCF is so. There was UCF and Full Sail University right there. Like I lived like 5 minutes from both of them, and there was a bar there that only served beer, like 500 kinds of beer, nothing else. But it was a fun place, a fun time. And so a lot of people don't realize this. There is at Universal, there's a place called City Walk, which was still it's outside of the park. And there at Disney, there's Downtown Disney, which is outside of the park. So you could go to both those places without actually buying like park admission. And it's a really cool sort of fun place to go. And there's like restaurants and there's like little place. I mean, let me tell you, it's a cool place, or at least it was, 20 years ago. God damn, 20 years ago, to bring a college age female on a date. I don't know, especially when she wants to tell all of her other college age friends that she's going on a date with a guy in uniform. But that's neither here nor there. It's fun. Bunch of Disney, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, right, Justin. Tell me about it. What's really cool that I read, like the character actors are so in character at Galaxy's Edge. Like if you ask a stormtrooper to like take a selfie with you, they'll ignore you and walk right by because there are no selfies in that galaxy. But if you ask them to stop and get a scan with you, then they'll stop and take a selfie with you because they speak that language. That is just so cool to me. And that it's just so that's the thing that's cool. Like it's so immersive. Like when you're in there, they try to make it a 100% complete world that you visit. And I think that the boys would have just such. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have a super awesome geek time myself, but the boys will have a super awesome geek time as well. So, it'll be good for everybody. Everybody involved will have a super awesome, good geek time. Kaylee, are you still here? Are you still in here, Kaylee? Well, you know what, Swim Baiter, you let me know. We can work that out. We can make that happen. That was a pretty cool channel to watch about. Thanks, Dave. That's actually a good tip, David. I'd like to prep for stuff like that. Actually, I'm not on Discord that much because I have to reinstall it and everything. But Instagram, Swim Baiter. Instagram is a good place to get me. Or Facebook, but probably Instagram is a great place to send me a DM and have a discussion with me. Because I always have my phone. I always have my phone. Always. Tell a stormtrooper you found Rey. There was a really I loved it. There was a video of a little kid walking around Galaxy's Edge, and he was dressed like a Jedi, and he had a little lightsaber hanging there, and these two stormtroopers walk up, and they stop him, and they're like, "Halt!" And they just it was and the kid, like the little 5-year-old kid or something, when the stormtroopers stopped him and said, like, show me your identification, he just takes his hand out and does just waves his hand like the Jedi mind trick. And without missing a beat, the two stormtroopers go, "Oh, that's not the Jedi we're looking for," and just move on. Like, what a cool job. I would do that for free all day long. Like if I could work there. I would love that. And of course they just made that kid's day. They made that kid's money. He's going to remember that for the rest of his life. The day he used the Jedi mind trick on 2 stormtroopers, and it worked. Like, what a cool job to have. I want that job. Guys, I'm giving up everything. I'm giving up the channel. I'm giving up the shop. The VA can keep all the money they give me. I'm going to Florida to become a stormtrooper at Disney. That's my new plan. And if you guys don't like it, I'm sorry. You guys can come with me. Why don't you guys come? Why don't we all go become stormtroopers at Disney? Who's in? Anybody? Anybody? All of a sudden, the comments have really slowed down. So I want to tell you guys something now that we're switching. There's been a lot of talk about ghost guns lately. And how, ghost gun legislation and all this stuff. And the administration says that ghost guns are all of a sudden, there are all these used in crimes and da-da-da, and that's why they have to move on them. Did you know that right now the government, for the definition of a ghost gun, is including regular production firearms that have the serial numbers filed off in their roundup, in their tally of ghost guns. And that's why all of a sudden the FBI stats on ghost guns being used in crimes has jumped from like 0 to 100. It was really weird. It was really weird that all of a sudden criminals everywhere have suddenly started using ghost gun. Like all the bad guys started getting 3D printers or started getting what? All of a sudden they started, getting 80% lowers and all of the materials to start doing them. But no, they added. They said somehow they went, "Hey, Craig, I talked about you before. I talked about the Christmas package video." But that's what they did. So the administration had whoever, ATF, FBI, whatever, add manufactured firearms that have had the serial number filed off added to the list of ghost guns. And that's how they got the statistics to jump all the way up to say ghost guns are used in so many different crimes. Bad guys have been filing serial numbers off of guns for decades. Ugh. And guess what? So if you pass a federal law that says somebody that makes their own, and guess what? There are times where somebody, because in the shop we do this, somebody builds a rifle, right? Or an AR pistol to a certain specification. And then they come to us because they have to get a serial number lasered into it, according to the NFA. If that gets stolen by a bad guy, they're gonna get rid of that serial number, and then it's gonna be a ghost gun. You know what? It's the dumbest, stupidest. Oh, I can't believe. I cannot believe. I'm so upset. I'm so upset. And it's been bugging me, since I found this out a little bit ago. It's been bugging me so much that such a stupid thing. Like, how much time is wasted drafting these laws, and how much money is wasted printing copies of these stupid laws that don't actually do anything? How money that, and then they're like, oh, we couldn't get XYZ done because we didn't have money in the budget, or we have to end this. I'm just stuff like this. So right before I went to New York to visit my family, they had that shooting in Brooklyn, and as soon as it didn't fit the narrative, once it was an angry guy with a regular manufactured gun, it was like they needed it to be a ghost gun to fit the whole thing that Biden was just pushing. Once it was a guy with like a regular manufactured Glock, it was, where did it go? Where did the story go? When was the last time you heard about the guy who shot 15 people in the subway in Brooklyn? I mean, it's it's so frustrating, and I hate even the term mass shooting, because they use that term just to make it sound so bad. And the government's version of a mass shooting is anytime 3 people or more are shot. Doesn't matter if they're shot, in the arm right there, or shot in the head and killed. Anytime 3 people, and if the shooter themselves, decides to shoot them afterwards. What do I think about Pizzagate? I honestly think it's one of the most ridiculous, stupid things I've ever heard. I think that, but I blame it all on media, because you've got a moron who walks into a pizza place that never even had a basement with a rifle, demanding to see where babies are being eaten in the basement because some moron like Alex Jones told him it was happening. And believe me, like, I don't recognize your name here, so I know you haven't been here before. Trust me, I'm not like a guy who goes around, promoting Democrats and stuff like that. Like, I don't support the Democratic Party at all, or any of their people, but there's rational stuff and there's completely irrational stuff. And all that thing did was make Republicans, conservatives look crazy. That was the end result of that thing, and made Democrats look like, oh, poor persecuted victims. I think it was absolutely ridiculous. And unfortunately, there are, the media is out there to trigger and set off as many unstable people as they can, because guess what? That is what they keep their own news cycle going. That's what they do. They go for ratings and hype, and if they can get some more crazy people to do crazy stuff, then they have kept it going. It's like a self-licking ice cream cone, what we used to say in the military. Well, Craig, yeah, I totally get it, but you know what? The trigger group is the firearm. That's why the lower of the AR-15 is what you have to do the background check on, because that's where the trigger goes. So we've had this discussion in the shop all the time. I don't understand why the background check isn't on the actual trigger. I mean, technically, why is it on the receiver? Why is it not actually? Why do you not do the background check to buy the trigger? If that's the way they're doing it, why the lower receiver? Why does that make sense? I don't know at all. Who put that together? But I mean, it's it's the same, like with handguns too. Like, you can buy a new slide. Well, I shouldn't say that, but most of the time, you can buy a new slide for any handgun you have, but it's that trigger grouping is what you're really doing the background check on. And that that non-replaceable. So like a Glock, for example, has the serial number on the slide and the frame, but you can get a new slide with a new serial number, but that serial number on the frame, that is what is forever linked to when you shoot that gun. That's what that serial number is linked to. So like it, because when you take the whole thing out, that little metal plate that you see like through the polymer, that's connected to the firing mechanism in it. But I mean, not many people actually go through, like, take all that stuff. Here's a really interesting thing, guys, too, that I meant to say this earlier. So I took an Uber home from the shop today, and my driver's name was Anatoly, and he kind of he left the Soviet Union 42 years ago. We were talking, and he was telling me, because we mentioned the fall of the Soviet Union, and he was saying that the fall of the Soviet Union wasn't one day. It didn't happen in one day. He said it was a long, a whole series of events leading up to it. And he said, I'll never forget it. I was a young guy, and I remember watching it and leading it up to it and happened. And he said that he was seeing exactly what happened in the Soviet Union leading up to the collapse of the country happening in this country today. And he said it's the exact same thing. Watching the government turn people against people, watching the language get ridiculous, watching like society start to just lose personal accountability and responsibility. Watching, like, the morals of society just completely degrade. He said it's like watching it all over again. Well, the thing is, you're not crazy to have a plan, but if what would I do? I'd make sure that my family was safe first and foremost, and then I'd want to fight. But I would never. The thing is, again, having served all my time in the military, a Red Dawn type scenario is just, it's not something that is possible the way that it's played out in the movie. It's just not, unless we open the door and let them in. Now, that would be one thing, but the way that they snuck in the movie is not physically possible for a number of reasons. Full-on invasion, like, for them to just suddenly show up in the middle of the country is not possible. We would know. We would know, and we would be able to mount a defense. If it got to the thing is, you're really counting a lot on other countries having the global reach that the United States has. And the thing is, no other country has that reach that we have invested the time and money to have. That's one of the things that we have really spent, like, since the end of World War II. Nobody. That's why, like, when the British fought in the Falklands, like, it was such an amazing thing that they went the 3,000 miles to fight that war. Like, nobody thought it was possible for them to do it, because it was not the United States. Nobody fights wars around the world with the breadth of forces like we do. Like, nobody in Europe, without help, thinks of invading a country outside of Europe. Like, that was, I tip my hat to you. That was an incredibly well fought and executed campaign against all odds. I do not think there will ever be a type of zombie apocalypse. However, the United States does have, swear to God, the United States does have an operations plan in the event of a zombie apocalypse. It is Operation Plan 8888. It exists. But I mean, the thing is, for a country like for Russia or China to actually get their forces here and invade, like, we would see it. We would see the buildup. We would know something's up. It wouldn't be a surprise. And if we had the time to, like, the dumbest mistake Saddam Hussein ever made in his life was to allow us to build up our forces in the beginning in Operation Desert Shield. Like, why he allowed us to build up 100,000 troops on his border, God knows. But if he had just decided to strike like right away, who knows? But as soon as we saw the signs, the telltale signs of because they'd have to slowly filter troops in, from anywhere around to our borders, and Red Dawn can never happen. And I don't want to get into the military specifics of it, but it couldn't. Not without giving us time to react to it. And, the United States with preparation is a fierce beast of a machine, especially if we were defending our homeland. I mean, then all the gloves would come off. And yeah. So, sorry, I know that's a long, rambling answer to that. If it did happen, though, my number one concern would be, look, I did my 21 years. I'm all about protecting my family now. And I know that I'm probably a little too old and a little too chubby to keep up with like the 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are still doing the job now. I would have to trust them to actually do it. And you think there's a way to hack and take down America? No. I think there's a way to hack America, but to take it down, like, you could hack into some systems, but we have full-time forces that their only job is cyber warfare, and we have distributed information systems, so you wouldn't be able to like take us down. You could hurt us, but you can take us down. Well, right, but see, the whole thing about this is, like, once we saw that, I mean, we would, like, if we saw this buildup, like, we would be able to counter it. Like, we'd have to be idiots to see this buildup and not do anything about it. And I think we're learning now that Chinese stuff is very similar to Russian stuff, and we're not really afraid of it. Yeah. So. I mean, and an EMP strike would affect a lot of the infrastructure, but there's a lot of military stuff. I'm not bouncing, and I'm just noticing that, like, my image here is jumping around. There's a lot of military equipment and a lot of military infrastructure that is EMP shielded and EMP hardened. So while a lot of the national infrastructure would be affected by the EMP, we would still be able to fight back. Yeah. I think it's probably true. I think that there's actually, more guns than citizens. Not a bad move. Not a bad move at all. I don't have a Faraday cage, but I have some bags to put like important electronics, like some radios and stuff like that in. Yeah. So, but the thing is, there was a time when I was younger and more gung-ho about fighting and wanting to be a Wolverine. But as I got a little bit older and I started looking at, like, the rest of the world only has stuff to lose by striking the United States. We support so much of the world through trade and economic stuff. And like, if you actually break it down to the economics and the trade value and the financial assistance, who in the world has anything to gain by hurting us? If you think about that, you know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, as much as a lot of countries like to posture and like to stamp their feet and act all tough, and Carrie, a Faraday cage is basically it's something that can protect your electronics in the event of an electromagnetic pulse. It stops the waves. So I'm saying, like, think about it. What country in the world really has anything to gain by taking the United States and its trade, its economic system, its financial assistance, its food production off the map? I mean that's what you gotta. I mean, nobody fights wars just for the glory of war. Not anymore. Like, it everything is political now, and it's not. First of all, who, like, Peter, you got to ask, who is they that has the power to do this? And you can. The thing is, not every computer is linked. Like, if every single computer was linked up to the same net at the same time on the same operating system, like same timing sequence, like we are not on one national data link network. So you cannot take down every computer. It just doesn't work like that. And we also don't. It's also not like there is one computer network that is in control of the country. It's separate. So the internet doesn't. The internet doesn't automatically connect computers. You know what I mean? Like, the internet isn't. You can't automatically. I don't know how to say this. The internet isn't a physical thing that, like, there are different servers all over the place. There are different connections all over the place. The military uses different. Even in the military, like, there's SIPRNet, there's NIPRNet, there's higher than that. There's different kinds of internet connections for the civilian world. And you can't just take down all the computers. Like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't, like, I can't just get a virus because I'm on the internet and you get a virus. Like, I've got to allow that file into my computer, and then I have to execute that file somewhere. So a virus doesn't just go to every computer on the internet. It doesn't work like that. Like, so I have to allow that virus access to my system. And then after I allow that virus access to my system, I have to do something to run it. So, like, if you have you downloaded a game, we'll say, and the virus is in the game, and then I'm like, oh, that's cool, I want that game, I'm going to copy that game from you. Okay, so now I've got that game. I still have to run that game. The virus isn't like a self-aware AI that just copies itself to every computer and then runs itself. That's not how it works. But that is also why there is antivirus software, why there is firewalls, why there is, and different levels of firewall, and why there is watchdog programs, and why there are different, like on certain military systems there are no incoming like there's no incoming anything, like it is, you cannot have it. There are some military systems that are hooked up to an intranet, not the internet, so they can share information with each other, but nothing on the outside can get in. So there's no way to take down all the computers, period. It just can't happen. And it's set up that way on purpose. I'll try and unshield the computer. So we've thought of stuff like that. And yeah, I totally agree. We used to say in the military that we purposely kept some systems too dumb to be affected by modern stuff. Like there was certain radar systems that we purposely never upgraded to digital. We kept them in analog so that they couldn't be jammed by modern systems. We say this radar is too dumb to be confused by digital jamming. So while the enemy, had these fancy, what we call DRFM jammers, and like these fancy digital jamming repeater systems, this old radar is too stupid to be confused by their fancy new, modern day jammers. And so you might look at this old system and be like, why the hell would you use that ancient antique analog system? Because the new jammers can't affect it, because it's like it's too old to be affected by all this fancy new electronic stuff. It's like, so we still have a lot of that old, analog technology too. So we use a lot of that old technology on purpose. And so we use different levels of stuff. We use different mixes of technologies, and it's like you have your front line, you have who is this Slade dude? He's weird. You have your just like on a sports team, you have your starting line, you have your relief guys, and yeah, and what's a good, you guys remember that show Revolution from a while ago about, it's stupid, but it's good at the same time. Our own engineers built these little nanobots that shut down the electricity in the whole world by accident. Hello, Dave. We're just about to wrap it up. But it was kind of weird show, but there's a hot chick in it. So, there's that. Shovel, he is weird, but I'm a believer in freedom of speech, and if he wants to just say weird things and he's not hurting anybody, we'll just ignore him. We'll just let him say his weird stuff, unless he gets super gross weird. He's obviously upset that he's not getting the attention he wants because he keeps repeating the same crap. So anyway, guys, this has deteriorated into some weird stuff. But, I'm glad we had some good discussions. We always end up with some good discussions at the end. So there's that. But I appreciate everybody participating. And, I'm glad that we could talk about some stuff and we threw some ideas around. That's cool. We talked about channel stuff. We talked about Wolverines and Red Dawn and why the enemy can't just shut down all the computers in the country all at once, and EMPs and ghost guns and everything. So that's cool. So anyway, guys, remember, giveaway announcement tomorrow, and some other cool videos coming up real soon. So thanks for participating tonight. Be back again live next week. I might have Beans EDC as a guest to talk about his charity work and some of his products and how he does that too. We'll see if he's feeling like it. But remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.